Again, here's Curry for the record. It's good! There it is! Stephen Curry, the all-time three-point king in the NBA!
Stephen Curry just became the all-time leader in three-pointers made after passing Ray Allen at 2,973 three-pointers in his career. At just 33 years old, Steph will now be looking to absolutely abolish the record in hopes of solidifying his spot at #1 for many years to come. It was inevitable that Steph was going to one day hold this record on his own based on the fact that he himself is the reason there are almost double the amount of three-pointers taken on average in an NBA game since Stephen Curry has entered the league. Not only did Curry revolutionize the game of basketball in terms of threes attempted, out of the top 50 players on the all-time three-point field goal list, Steph shoots the best percentage out of all of them at 43.1% on his career. Steph quickly became one of the most popular players in the league as he ended up winning multiple championships and 2 MVPs, where one of them was the first ever unanimous MVP in NBA history, and this was the reason his infamous limitless range threes became so popular with his upbringing. It seemed as if Stephen Curry had cracked the code in terms of basketball analytics, as he and the Warriors were absolutely dominating the NBA, and everyone else quickly took notice and tried adapting to his same style of play. Curry and the Warriors at one point were so dominant with their play style of just lighting other teams up beyond the arc that they ended the 2016 NBA season with the best record in the entire history of the NBA, with 73 wins and 9 losses. He was so dominant and so efficient shooting the ball, he altered the way that almost every single person in this world views and plays the game of basketball. And now let that sink in, as I'm not sure if it's ever going to be done again, where another player has a bigger impact on the game in terms of how it is played. Now, before Curry was able to solidify himself as the all-time leader, Ray Allen made a statement saying that Steph has been able to operate in a lane of his own, practically implying that he is and should be the unanimous greatest shooter of all time, and I couldn't agree more with this statement. What Steph has been able to do for the game of basketball has been nothing short of remarkable, and he deserves the honor of being named the greatest shooter in NBA history. Kids nowadays that are learning how to play the game at a young age go directly towards trying to learn how to shoot a three before the regular fundamentals that we were one day used to, and that is because of one man and what he's been able to do on the court. Just before I continue this video, I just wanted to say that if you do enjoy this type of content, please consider leaving a like, as it helps the video with YouTube's algorithm. Now, what makes Curry passing Ray Allen that much more special from a statistical standpoint was the way he was able to do it in over 500 less attempts, and Curry has played in over 500 less games than Ray Allen has. This not only shows you the different levels Curry is to the rest of his competition, but also displays the potential amount of threes that Steph Curry could be at by the end of his career, since he still has so many games left in the tank. The thing is about Curry too is that he's playing some of his best basketball at age 33, and it doesn't even look as if he's slowing down anytime soon. He is currently leading the MVP conversation this season, and he has been able to lead the Warriors to the best record in the entire NBA and have solidified them to be contenders for the title this year. On top of all of this, the Warriors also have an overload of young talent on the roster, which could be an influencer for Curry to maybe extend the length of his career to try and win rings right before he decides to retire. Along the way of Curry becoming the greatest three-point shooter of all time, Curry has done many remarkable things that will be remembered forever that prove why there is no debate of anyone else being better than him. Starting with obviously scoring the most three-pointers of all time is honestly already a good argument in his case, but Curry has also led the entire NBA in three-point field goals 6 times, 5 of which were consecutive seasons, won the three-point contest twice, holds the record for the most threes in a single season with 402, is tied with Klay Thompson for the most made threes in a playoffs with 98, has the most threes made in a finals game with 9, and he holds the record for the most consecutive games in both the regular season and the playoffs with a three-pointer made, and there are so many other statistics that Curry finds himself at the top, where there seems to be no one else even remotely behind him. If I had to list out all of the accolades regarding Steph Curry's three-point shot, this video would be 20 minutes long, so I'm going to save you and I from that, but you get the point I'm trying to make. Steph is on a different planet in terms of all-time three-point shooters in NBA history. It is impossible to tell whether or not Curry will be able to hold the NBA's three-point record forever, as I honestly do believe that one day some kid is going to come into the NBA averaging 20 plus three-pointers attempted a game, just by the way the game has already evolved, and all of the younger generation now making their way to the NBA after being influenced by none other than Steph Curry. But I don't know if they'll be able to do it at the magnitude that Steph has been able to achieve this accolade at. And what I mean by that is the way that Curry has been able to be so ahead of everyone else in terms of their three-point shot, and also the percentage Curry has been able to shoot it at. If someone does end up coming into the league shooting an absurd amount of threes, breaking records left and right, yes, they would be outperforming Curry on a volume of shots made standpoint, but I'm not sure if it's going to be easy for someone to do what Steph has done as efficiently. And I definitely don't know if there'll be another player who will be able to change the game like Steph has. As the three-point line was introduced in 1979, it was described as the home run in basketball by the former commissioner of the ABA, George Mikan. And the reasoning behind the decision to add this shot into the NBA was to bring fans out of their seats and to give smaller players a chance to score and open up the defense, making the game more enjoyable for fans. When this shot was first introduced, teams were taking on average 2.8 threes per game, and if you fast forward over 40 years later, teams are now on average shooting 34.1 threes per game, and it has become the cornerstone of almost every offense in the NBA. This stat was already slowly rising from the induction of the shot, as it went up almost 10 shots per game from 1980 to 1998, but it was when Steph had made his way into the league where we started to see exponential growth of the evolution of the game. From 2009 to 2021, which is just over 10 years, the NBA saw the amount of three-pointers taken rise from 18 a game all the way up to 34.1 attempts. The entire league had now adopted to where almost every single player now has some sort of three-point shot into their game, to the point where we now have a center in Jonas Valanciunas who is in the top 5 in the entire NBA in three-point percentage. It is incredibly safe to say that Curry is going to go down as the greatest shooter of all time, but as he sits on the throne for his three-point shot, Steph honestly still has a shot at climbing even higher on the all-time ranks if he were to win a few more rings and finish this season as a 3-time MVP. Steph leading the way on this Warriors team has and always will be a terrifying sight, as this team genuinely has what it takes to go all the way this season, especially with some of the pieces that are going to be returning soon in Clay and James Wiseman. But let me know what you guys think of Stephen Curry breaking the all-time record of three-pointers made down below in the comments. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content like this, as I am a newer channel and all of the support helps me out a ton. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a great night.